Hey guys, and welcome to a really cool lesson. What we're going to do today is J.S. Bach's Toccata and Fugue. It's a great piece, and it's one you probably know from all those scary films when you was growing up. You know, when there's a vampire or something, or a haunted house, this is the music you often hear. It's originally played on an organ, but we're playing it on an acoustic, and it still sounds great, and it's wonderfully distinctive, and there's loads of great techniques. So it's a fun, short piece, and you're going to love it. Let's begin. Right, to play this piece then, what we need to do is make sure we're in drop D tuning. So tune your low E string down to D. Everything else is standard tuning. Okay, I'm going to show you how to play it as if you've got a cutaway guitar. If you haven't got a cutaway guitar, it's okay, because you can play everything an octave further down, or you might possibly be able to squeeze your fingers up to play it. Okay, so I'll show you how we're going to play it first with the cutaway. What we're going to do is, for the first part, the first little riff is to this. Okay, what that is 17th fret on the high E string with your ring finger, 15th fret on the high E string with your index finger. What you're going to do is pull off from 17 to 15 and then go back to 17 and pluck again. Okay, so when you do your pull off from 17 to 15, ring finger to index finger, pull off towards the ground to give it a nice sharp snappy sound. And then put it on. So you're going to pluck twice. Pluck, pull off, put it back on, pluck. Okay, practice that on its own. Okay, what you're going to do once you're able to do that is add the bass note in. You're going to use a low D string to fill out the sound. So go really slow, practice it super steady. Okay, the bass note's obviously important because it fills out the sound massively. Okay, that's the first little part. Then you're going to do this. Okay, what that is, it's still on the high E string, 15th fret, pinky, and then 13th fret, and then 12th fret. Pinky, middle and index is usually the best fingers for that, because you're not then stretching with different fingers to do different notes. You've got one finger per fret. Okay, that's all on the high E string. 12th fret is a double dot, so if you look for the double dot, that will help you guide you where you are. Okay, then you're going to change to the B string, 15th fret. Again, use your pinky to fret this note. Then 14th fret, use your ring finger, and then 15th fret. So that's all on the B string, that last part. So 15, 13, 12 on the high E string. 15, 14, 15 on the B string. All together, 6 notes there. Add the bass note in again, the low D string with the thumb on the first pluck. So it'll sound like this. You want to hear that low D string ringing throughout. It fills out the sound quite nicely. Whenever you're playing fingerstyle piece and there's multiple notes on one string, there could just be like 3 or 4 notes like in this piece on one string, then it's a good idea to use your index and middle fingers to do the plucking and alternate. Now, in standard fingerstyle playing, we tend to use the ring finger for the high E string, middle finger for the B string, index for the G. But if you're going to continuously pluck one of those strings, like the high E string we do in this bit, and you're just using your ring finger for those notes, it's going to get pretty tiring and your ring finger's probably not able to keep up. So this is where it's a good idea to use alternate index and middle fingers. Now this is the way I recommend people play when they're doing melodic stuff on one string. So if you watch me play that first part, you've got make sure you're watching that right hand. See what it's doing, it's index and middle fingers. Okay, so you can keep that in mind as you're learning the rest of it. So that's the first part done. The second part sounds like this now. And it is just the same sort of idea at the beginning, an octave lower and then a little bit of a variation. So what that is, we're on the G string there, 14th fret. And then we're going to pull off to the 12th fret on the same string. So again, index and ring fingers do the fretting. And then put the finger back on and pluck again. So 14, 12, 14 on the G string and do the bass note again at the beginning. Add a bit of vibrato in at the end on that note if you like, it sounds cool, gives it a bit of life. Then we've got, okay, and then that next part was 9th fret on the G string, 10th fret, index and middle fingers to fret those, and then 11th fret on the D string now, so change of strings with the ring finger, and then 12th fret on the D string with the pinky. So, and you want to make those notes nice and short and choppy for a dramatic effect. Okay, and to do that you just plug the note, lift the pressure up with the fretting hand. So again, 1 finger per fret there, 9, 10, 11, 12, 9 and 10 on the G string, 11 and 12 on the D string, and use different fingers for each one. So that's, the last part was like this. Okay, and then the next part now. It's very much like the first part, but 2 octaves lower. Okay, to do that what we're going to do is still on the G string now, pluck the 2nd fret, pull off to the open G string, and then go back to the 2nd fret and pluck again. Again with the bass note at the beginning. Okay, once you've got that done, we go back to this idea. And what that is now is 5th fret with the pinky on the D string, 3rd fret on the D string, middle finger, 2nd fret on the D string, index finger. Okay, so it's 5, 3, 2 on the D string. And then we go to the A string and it's 5, 4, 5. Practice that nice and slow. Again, use the alternate index and middle fingers on the picking hand. Okay, and add the bass note in the beginning. That there is the main bulk of the intro. Now we move to some chordal type playing, where we go into a diminished 7th chord shapes. Okay, that bit's not overly difficult because it's just one shape moved up the fretboard, and it uses the diminished 7th chord trick, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, to play this part then what we're going to do is pluck the low D string, pluck the A string, and then put our fingers in this position. This is part of the diminished 7th chord, and what this shape is: 2nd fret D string, 3rd fret G string, 2nd fret B string, and at the moment we're leaving the high E string open. Okay, so you've just plucked the low D, pluck the A, then with index, middle and ring fingers you're going to pinch the D, G and B strings, and then you're going to pinch the same 3 strings again, D, G and B, and this time with your pinky of your picking hand you're going to pluck the high E string as well, so you're getting an open string in there as well. So basically the top 4 strings, strings 4, 3, 2 and 1. Okay, so let's just recap that part. Pluck the low D, pluck the A, pinch the D, G and B, and then pinch the D, G, B and high E. Okay, now you're going to add your pinky on the 3rd fret high E string. The other 3 fingers stay where they are. You're going to pinch all of those 4 together again. Then you're going to take that exact same shape. This is a diminished 7th chord now, this shape. You're going to move it up 3 frets. So you should be on, index and middle finger should be on the 5th fret. Ring finger and pinky should be on the 6th fret. You're going to pinch all 4 strings again. Then you're going to move it up another 3 frets. So index and middle should be on the 8th, ring and pinky should be on the 9th. Pinch again. And then move it up 3 more frets. And this time I like to do a little strum with the thumb, like nice arpeggiated strum with a bit of vibrato. We're only strumming the 4, so from the D string. Okay, let's go for that second part then. So it's pinch all at the 2nd and 3rd frets, then the 5th and 6th frets, then the 8th and 9th, then 11th and 12th with a strum. Okay, all together that part is this then. And as you're moving up, you're going from 2nd to 5th to 8th to 11th frets, you can start to get a bit quicker. And it builds up the tension, because it's pure tension, that part. It's a diminished 7th chord, and the aim is to create some nice, angry, sort of scary tension. Once you've finished up here, we then do this, which is quite a nice little bit of release after all that tension. What we're doing here is this. It's a nice easy little chord, and what you're doing basically is barring the 7th fret of the D and G strings with the index finger, and then fretting the 10th fret of the B string with the pinky. And you're doing, with your thumb, a nice arpeggiated strum. So it's open low D string, open A, 7th fret D, 7th fret G, 10th fret B. And then you're going to add your ring finger on the 9th fret of the G string, pluck that, and then we do this little trill. And that trill is basically, what you're going to do is move the ring finger and pinky off the fretboard, and then pluck the B string, 7th fret. So you can, if you leave your index finger where it is doing that bar, then you'll be in position. So you're going to pluck that B string, 7th fret, and then hammer on with the middle finger to the 8th fret, pull off, hammer on, pull off, hammer on, all with this hand. And it should sound like that. You practice that on its own. So that part looks like this. And again. And then lift them off and trill. 7 to 8 on the B string. Okay. It's a really good workout so far, and that's the main bulk of it done. Now we're going to go into the riff bass bit, the triplet bit, where it gets quick. And it sounds like this, the first part. Okay, to play that, what we're going to do is plug the open D string, and while we do that, we're getting in position, getting ready to come onto the next part. What we're going to do now is plug the A string, 5th fret, middle finger, then we're going to go 7th fret, pinky, and then 4th fret, all on the A string. And that's with the index finger. And again, using alternate fingers here. And basically it's that repeating pattern. 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4. And what we're doing here, I'll have to explain it quite carefully because it can be quite tricky. We're playing in triplets. So when we're doing 5, 7, 4, that is a set of triplets. And basically a triplet is 3 notes that last a beat. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how it's that dun 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 dun. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the rhythm you want for this bit. Okay, and it's on the 5th fret, 7th fret, and the 4th fret. To play the triplets, it's quite, it's not too hard with this hand, with the fretting hand, because you just put one finger on each fret. But if we're using 2 fingers, index and middle, with the picking hand, we've got to be careful what we do. What I recommend is doing the first one of the triplets, which is on the 5th fret with the index finger, then the second one with the middle finger, and then the third one with the index finger, and then starting again. So it would be index, middle, index, index, middle, index, and that's all to do with the picking hand. You got to be quite careful and quite precise here. So if you've never done triplets before, done this kind of style, finger style playing, I'd definitely take your time with this bit because it's very difficult. Index, middle, index, index, middle, index, index, middle, index, index, middle, index. That's the basic idea, and that's what we're going to use throughout. So what we're going to do is 3 sets of triplets. So it's 1, 2, 3. There your triplets done. Then we're going to go back to the 5th fret of the A string. Then finish this phrase on the 2nd fret of the D string. Okay, so it's triplet, 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 5th fret, A string, 2nd fret, D string. Without me talking. Okay, that's the first little phrase done here. Now what we're going to do is stay on the D string, and it's going to be 3rd fret, 5th fret and 2nd fret, and it's exactly the same idea. Okay, but this is what we're doing now. So it's 3rd, 5th, 2nd for a triplet, 3rd, 5th, 2nd for a triplet again, and then 3rd, 5th, 2nd for another triplet, before we finish on the 3rd and then the 5th. So altogether that bit is. Okay, notice the 2 slow notes at the end after the 3 sets of triplets. Then the next part is this. Where we go 2nd fret G string, 3rd fret G string, open G string. And we do that 3 times. So it's 3 sets of triplets. So 2nd, 3rd, open, 2nd, 3rd, open, 2nd, 3rd, open. And don't forget to hit the bass note on the beginning of each beginning of the first triplet. And then the slow notes at the end are 2nd fret G string, and then this time 2nd fret B string. Okay, so don't forget to do the bass note on the low D string at the beginning of each of these phrases. So let's recap what we've got. First of all, there's an open D note. That's our transition note. Now we go to the triplets. Start at the 5th fret on the A string, hit the bass note and start your triplets. Okay, now the next bit, 3rd fret D string. Next part, 2nd fret G string. Okay, and now we're going to move into the final section. There's 3 more of these little sections and we're done. Okay, what we're going to do here is hold the index finger where it is on that 2nd fret, B string, and start our triplets now on the 3rd fret of the B string, going from 3rd to 5th to 2nd, all on the B string. And then the slower notes are 3rd fret again on the B string, and then open high E string. So that section is like this. Okay, and now we're going to do the next part where it's 1st fret high E string, 3rd fret high E string, open high E string. So 1, 3, open. 3 of those, and then the slow notes are 1st fret high E, 3rd fret high E. Okay, and then the final part, we're going to move up to the 5th fret on the high E string. I'm going to plug the 5th fret, the 6th fret, and then the 3rd fret, and 3 of those for our triplets. And then finally, just 1 slower note at the end, and that's going to be 5th fret. I'll give that a bit of vibrato. And there you go, you've got it all. So that's all the parts. Okay, now it's time to piece them together nice and slow. Do it as all individual parts. The great thing about this piece is it's very much play a part, then there's a little pause, play a part, little pause. And you can leave the pauses for a little bit longer than you normally would as you're learning it, and it will give it a bit of dramatic effect, help you process what's going on, help you think about the next part. So take your time and go through each bit nice and slow. We'll recap each part now. And there you have it. It's a great piece. It's not the whole piece as Bach plays it, but I think it's enough to be learning today. And after that, it does get incredibly difficult. And to be honest, if you can play all that smoothly, you've got a wonderful section of a wonderful piece of music. And this is all the bit that people recognise usually. These are the bits that's played in the film. And if we did the whole lot of the piece, we'd be here for a long time trying to teach it, because it's very, very difficult. If you want to play the parts and you haven't got a cutaway guitar, where we start at 15 and 17, you can basically move that down 12 frets. So 15 and 17 would be 3rd and 5th, and you'll be an octave lower. That's a great way of just easily playing that part without having to reach up for the cutaway. So this bit would be everything 12 frets lower. So everything is just 12 frets lower, and you can move that down. For this part up here, even if you don't have a cutaway, most people can get up to that 14th fret just to do this hammer on pull off, and I would try and play it up there. It sounds cool. And if you enjoyed what we've done so far on it, the main bulk of it, the main theme, then let me know. And if you really want to learn more on this one, we can go through some of the other parts in the future. But for now, I think this is more than enough for most people. Most of my students who've learnt this love just learning up to this point. Everything else seems a little bit too much filler and a bit of hard work. Unless you're really dedicated, I'd stick with this and have lots of fun, because to be fair, it's an incredible piece, and people might not know the name, Toccata and Fugue, but everybody knows how it sounds. If you've ever watched a remotely scary film, or any film of a haunted house or a vampire in the film, then you will have heard this piece, I'm sure. Right, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in a video soon. Cheers, bye bye.